Okay, so now I'm going to start working on this chicken tractor. Our brooder's full of meat birds, and we've been just so busy working on everything but the brooder. It's come crunch time. We got to get that thing built. So anyway, what I'm going to try to do, this is a trampoline frame. It just slips together. And what I'm going to try to do is these joints here, I'm going to try to put these self-tapping screws, and you can see there's a drill on it, bit on it. I'm going to try to put these in these joints and hold it together. What I'm going to do is screw the top together, and then it's going to be like a giant wheel, and I'll roll it back there to where I'm going to plant it. Let's see how well this works. Alright, so now I've screwed the top together with 2 screws at every one of these joints. I would like to be able to screw 2 from the bottom side, but that's not going to work. I think what I'm going to end up doing, well, first of all, I got to take it apart now. Flip it upside down. It's going to be a giant wheel, but I'm not real sure if it's going to hold. I may have to get some help with that and put some screws in from the side. You have to have a solid surface, otherwise it's going to move and it ain't going to work right. But I will say this. The bit that comes with these screws, free included, pro stick bit included. It's a T15 Torx. That's what I got right here. That's the bit that came with it. Focus, camera, focus. Okay, they don't want to focus. But anyway, that bit came with it. Stupid camera don't want to focus. Anyway, there's something about the way they built that made the head of that boat, and their bit works better than a standard T25, is what I was trying to get to. Okay, let me hack some more and turn this thing upside down. I'm getting ready to flip it upside down. That's 14 feet in diameter. So I said, well, I'll just walk it around on the side. So yeah, it just started walking around, but it wasn't going up no higher than about 6 foot. Yeah, I'm going to need somebody to help me flip it over. All right, well, while I'm waiting on that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw these legs together. This set of legs over here, it's got holes in it. So what I'm going to do is use one of them for a template to mark the other. Yeah, that would. Mark the other side after I attach it in there. But I need a template, so I'm going to save one and put it in last. Get a marker of some kind. And mark them holes, because when I turn this upside down, those holes, let me show you. So those holes, this is the safety screen, I guess, to keep your kitties from jumping off the sideways, falling sideways and smacking their head in the ground and dying and all that good stuff. Yeah, it's serious, and I didn't sound serious, sorry. Oh well. Anyway, it turned your fun day into a nightmare. But these holes, what I gotta do is take this one off the leg, like that, and then use this to mark this, so that when I stand it back up, that part is going to be up. Yeah, that part's going to be up, and I can drill my holes for my boats, which I have all the boats, and all the little spacers, little black spacers that go in there, and I can put them back on there. If I had to buy all brand new boats, I wouldn't be able to do this. Man, boats are expensive. Alright, even though I got a table saw, and I could cut this with a table saw, and it would be much, much faster Not everybody out there in YouTube land's got a table saw. This is a 2x9, 2x10. Yeah, 2x10, because it's supposed to be nominal 10 inches. Comes up to be like 9 1/4, 9 1/2, something like that. So anyway, we got it off the half price pile at RP Lumber here in good old West Plains. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a table saw. I'm going to cut this in half. God willing, these 3 buckets will stay stationary while I'm cutting it. Yeah, they might not. I might have to stop and piddle with it and make it work, but hopefully it works without me having to fight with it. That's my #1 pet peeve, trying to work a project. You got to fight with the tools. But anyway, like I said, I don't have tripods, so this is what I've done. Put 2x4s so the saw blade don't cut into the bucket, even though I'm going to make sure the saw blade don't cut more than 1.5 inches. And that way I can cut this in half. That way I'm using 1 2x10 instead of 2 2x10s, and I'm using half the weight. And then I'm going to have to carry it down there, get a measurement, and then bring it back. All right. Peace. Well, they're cut in half. But one of the disadvantages of using wood over metal is you get knots in wood. So look at that pretty little knot. It don't look all that harmful or structural, weakness or anything. Until you look at the other side. So now, this one, it's not going to work. I could try to put a slab on there and everything else, and that ain't going to do it. All I'm going to do is waste my time. So, I'm going to get another 2x10 off my pile, and I'm going to have to cut it down. The same way I cut this one down. Joy, joy. But I will use this one that has the bad spot. I will use it to do the short pieces across the ends. I will do that. Yeah. That's the only thing I could do. Now, if I had seen that before I cut it in half, then I would have cut the thing in half to use for the ends. And well, anyway, here we are. Sometimes I get lucky. I do a lot of stuff by myself. I've been doing this all my life, though. This ain't nothing new. I've been doing it all my life. I'm usually by myself when I'm doing projects. But anyway, I've been struggling to try to show you that we've got these poles that held a net, a safety net to keep you from flying off when you're doing your jumping and stuff, to turn your fun into a nightmare. We don't want you to fall on your head, so that's what Walmart does. They put padding over the springs, and then they put these up for, keep you from falling off. So, I wanted to see if I actually needed all that height. I don't. I need let's just say 6'5" inside. That's reasonable. Our ceilings in the house are 7 foot. 6'5", that worked. Well, there's a lot of slope in this pole, which is not really going to show up all that well on the camera. I couldn't get it to work. I had a clamp. Laws of physics said that was not going to work. I get it almost tight, and the clamp runs away. It's 2 round objects trying to clamp them together. So, I got this little black thing. See if I can show that to you. I got this little black thing so that I could try to clamp it together and hold it. Nope, this little peg has to go in the hole on the other side. So, that ain't going to work either because there ain't no holes on the other side. Well, much unrecorded frustration and cussing, I accidentally said, hey, would it fit inside the tube? Well, voila, it fit inside the tube. So I left a little peg in there like it's supposed to. That's approximately, I mean, it'll be a little bit taller. That's why I say 5'6". I mean, 6'5", 6.5 feet. 6'6", 6.5 feet. So I'll go over here and mark this about 6.5 feet and whack this thing off so that the sides ain't so curved. Yeah. And then I'll drill a hole in this for a rod that will fit way up there in that bracket up there. Actually, I take that bracket off and stick it in the hole. There we go. Yeah, that's what happens when you're talking to YouTube. Having a conversation with yourself and making your plans. All right, guys, it's on to the project. But anyway, what I'm doing here, I'm making a stopping point. I guess this would be considered day 2. But this is going to be the back side. I'm going to bolt wheels to the back here. Have rails go up, connected to up here. And then we're going to have a way to move it so that we can move it. And I ain't exactly sure how we're going to do that. I'm probably going to be the one that does the moving. And I'm kind of thinking probably the easiest way to do that is to pick this part of it up, this metal right here, with a dolly and grab it and move it with a dolly. The wheel's on the ground back there. Yeah, that might be the best way to do that. Of course, you got to watch the chickens because they're going to want to stay back over there where there ain't no people. And that's not where you want them. But it's probably going to take somebody back there on that side to scare them this away while we move them. But the more I think about it, I think that might be the best way to do that. These have got to get bolted to these uprights on both sides back there. I do have holes in that upright, but there's just not enough holes there to do me any good. There's one hole and one hole here that doesn't line up. So I don't see the advantage of trying to make that one hole work. So anyway, I have to go take care of some other business. So I do have a door frame I got to build right here. The door is not this wide. So what I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably end up running a piece of wood from this post, this upright, over, catching the door frame. I'm just wondering though if the wings are going to be self-supporting or if they're going to sag to the point that they break at the screws. Well, here it is. It's an upside down trampoline frame. Well, here we are again on the chicken coop build. Talking to the missus about it. This is where the door is going to be, right between here. And so, on the other end of this is going to be the wheels. So we was talking about it, and she said, well, you know, if we had a bar across here, a removable bar, I just pick the bar up and move, and when I need to move it, I can move it. And I said, you know what, that's a really good idea. So, I'm just going to angle that thing. We wanted it about 36 inches, but the total height's about 36 inches. So, we're not going to be able to do that. But what I'm going to do, I don't have a C-clamp. Only got one leg up. But the way I'm thinking this is going to work, by the time I get the door frame in there, it's going to make it 32 inches. That's what the door is going to be. So you walk into the chicken coop, and you got chickens everywhere, you know, they're all running away from you. Unless, of course, you got the food pan, then they're coming to you. But you don't have to go in very far. You just open it up, sit the water pan down there, sit the food pan down there. You can move it 14 feet that way. about 14 feet. Just by putting the food pen right here on this end, right here, all the chickens gather at this end, and you move it this way. And the food pen ends up at the other end, but the coop ends up moved. So that should work. They're not supposed to be able to roost or anything. But another thing she wants is some shelter. And I could build a little thing right here on half of this because this is already sloped. I can run it out there and grab that leg with like a 2x4 or something like that. And bring the slope down to match this slope. Which which would brace that, because I got the tarp, we got the side guard, to keep you from falling off, and we got the tarp from the carport, from the trampoline. We got both of them, so we can make a shade cloth. That's not hard. But I think I can go right here and just put them a little shelter right here between these two legs. What I think I could do. I think I could run 2x4s from here to there, bolt it to that leg, to this, and the same thing over there. And I should be able to match the slope that way. And the only thing is the 2x4s would be, no, they don't have to be. I don't have to worry about the angle of the 2x4s, because I'll clamp it there and screw it here and do the same thing over there. Also, for giving this a little more structural strength back there, is I'll put these corner brackets in here and bolt it to the rail, of course. But put this bracket in here like that and screw it in, and that should give the corner of it a little more strength. I'm trying to avoid having a lot of potential shelves for, collection of stuff. So, yeah, I think that'll work. And I'm saying that side, because if we keep going that direction, that's north, going that direction, and this would be on the east side, so they're a little shade. They get more shade and stuff on this side. I think that'd be all right. I could probably go from this leg right here, from this leg to that part, and I could probably go to this leg, but that means I have to cut out this piece right here, and that's not hard. I got a side grinder. I could do that. Yeah, I think I got enough sheet metal for that, and the sheet metal's about 6 feet long. All right, let's see what I can do. I got to find a drill. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background that you don't see because I'm the world's worst for keeping up with tools. All right, so I'm back here working on the chicken coop, the chicken tractor. What I've done here is, this is the entry door into the tractor. This used to be glass. It got broke. I brought it home from the transfer station. Somebody in the trailer next to me, they just threw it off. And I said, ooh. So I brought it home. Thought maybe I could reuse the glass, maybe in the greenhouse or something like that. The wind said, nope, it's going to break. So I had to pick up shattered glass, which fortunately it did not go everywhere. It's just a big old pile. But anyway, this frame was in a track on the other side. And this hardware cloth, well, it just wasn't going to accommodate bending and folding and getting that frame to fit. So on the sides, I used a 3/4 inch screw, number 10 3/4 inch screw. But that 3/4 inch, I guess it was just a 1/16 of an inch too short or something. Anyway, after a little bit of cussing, I decided to go and get a screw that is way too long. It worked. So now I got to trim this off. Side grinder is perfect for trimming hardware cloth. Let me go ahead and trim that off, and then Well, I got other things to do to this chicken tractor too. And here's another piece of the puzzle. This is the axle that goes across the back. So that when you lift up on the front, I don't need to lose that drill bit. That way, when you lift up on the front, this will be on wheels and you can move the tractor. Fortunately, I already got a hole drilled right there. And I got one I need to grind out right here, but I'm going to have to cut one. Now, I have a uni-bit somewhere, and if my boat don't fit down in that hole, I just uni-bit it, spread it out. Actually, I could probably ream it out a little bit with this drill bit. I have to save me having to try to find a uni-bit I know I got. So, anyway, this is going to be the axle. This is just a spare piece of metal that I'm going to take off. Okay, this is bed rails, by the way, and 5/8 inch bolts. Taking off another project that failed because I tried to drill the holes in wood. If you don't drill perfectly straight, your axle don't work. So, I went to a shop, paid 20 bucks, and had them weld this. And then I spray painted it. I didn't get that one done never as good as I did this one, though. Oh well. And eventually I'm going to have to drill a hole in this axle and put a split pin in it on both sides, because this axle is, it's just a it's a stub axle. It don't go all the way across. So let me drill some holes. Well, the sun is setting on another day, but I'm making some great progress on the chicken tractor. This back here is the wheels. This is the part that rolls on the ground back here. I got it bolted up there with that. Yeah. I'm not sure if that boat's going to be long enough to hold that axle in, up there. A little bit shorter there, so I guess if that's long enough, I guess this one is too, right? And then of course that one, I had to put that one in there because that board right here, this board right here that the axle's mounted on, only had one bolt going to the frame of the chicken tractor. So I had to put another bolt in it. But there's 3 bolts in the axle itself. What I do need to do is I need to drill a hole in the axle itself. And it'd be nice if I could find some castle bolts, like 5/8 inch. That's a 5/8 inch bolt. If I could find some 5/8 inch castle bolts, and then of course put an 1/8 inch hole in the axle, drop me a split pin in there, or cotter pin, something. Anyway, drop it in there. Your boat will never come off your axle. Okay, then of course this is the door. I don't have it bolted in yet. Got to take that little board across the bottom off. That's just to hold the frame, keep it from spreading. I tried the door, and it's hanging up here at the top. So I've got to take that board loose, this top board right here, take it out and pick it up just a little bit. I might be able to stop it from catching the corner. But I put hardware cloth on it. That should be pretty critter proof. Then down here at the bottom, on the rail itself of the frame, I'm going to put a piece of metal underneath the rail, screw it down somehow. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I may actually have to use my bolts and whack them off. I have to do that. Anyway, put a piece of metal, comes out down just a little ways. That way it discourages digging. And then I was thinking about putting a skirt around it on the bottom of the rail, but the missus is concerned that might drag on the ground, and she, well, you know, her logic is sometimes better than mine. And so that's what we're going to do. Another idea she had, and I think it's a good idea, is to have a removable roof system, shade system, right? Right here in the middle. And so what I'll do is I'll build a roof system, the shade, that's removable. She suggested putting it on hinges I don't know if we actually need to put it on hinges. We may be able to pick it up and tilt it back and lean it against the wall of the tractor. Bungee cord it to the frame or something. Not exactly sure what to do, but this is 3 foot wide between these two rails. That's 3 foot. So, yeah, and then I could run it, wing it out a little bit. But, yeah, to make it really simple. Put a couple of 2x and hold them together, expand the 2x, and then screw the metal to the long 2x, and you got a removable roof. Yeah, I didn't put very many screws in that bracket, did I? Just 1 or 2. Looks like I put just 1. Well, I gotta put more screws in that. The brackets need more screws, and of course we need wire. And I think what I'm going to do, because this right here is going to be a place, it's going to be a problem for putting fence. I may take another piece of metal and just put it underneath this part where the axle is. So, and when the wire comes in, I can wire it to this frame, and then I won't have to cut the wire much to get around that frame here. And then just roll if there's a lip, roll it over down and staple that screw board on there. Yeah. But progress is being made. Like I said, I don't believe I can get up this door. Oh, door's stuck. Oh well. That means the chickens can't get out either, right? Alright, so I don't even know what day I'm on now. About 4, 5, something like that. But what I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to cut these uprights. These long skinny pieces underneath the tape measure. And I want to end up with approximately a 6 foot height. When I cut them off, I'll get rid of most of the slant. But what I'll do is I'll rotate the slant so it faces out. And the reason for that is if there's anything climbs up it, that should slow them down a little bit. But when I do that, these holes have to be on the inside for that little plastic peg you seen earlier in the video. Well, there's a screw holding it together here. So I'll pull it apart. I probably can't reuse that screw. It's probably a shooter. So I probably can't reuse that screw. So what I'll do is I'll take it apart here and rotate what's left of that piece and stick it in here. I'll take the black thing off the end of it. This piece, I'll take it off and stick it down here and screw it back in place here. Because those pieces hold these pieces. And these pieces will give me a rigid top around the top to tie the wire to. Well, there. Fixed it. 2 bolts at the bottom, which I got to tighten up. It's got a star bit on one side, but the 2 little metal spacers, the upright, trimmed it off. Got a little bit of slope. It's not got a whole lot. So it's going to work just fine. I don't think it really matters which way I put the slope. But I put this together on the ground. I think the next one I'll put together will be on the pole. And for sake of convenience, I took the first hole, this hole, I went down 4 inches and marked the first hole. And then the first hole lines up right about there. So what I do is I just take another stick and I go around. This is every other one. So this one, and this one, that one, that one, that one, and that one behind the door. Well, that's not really what I wanted, but okay. I was going to have to choose one side of the door anyway, because I got 6 poles. Yeah, okay. It's coming along. Well, I got the top rail on there, and somehow I ran out of stuff. I'm a piece short. I don't know what I did with it. I'll have to figure it out. Of course, I tilted it out a little bit. I don't know the geometry in that, but I might have taken away that much space. What's about 3-4 foot? I don't know. But anyway, I was fighting with this door trying to get it to work, and the missus is sitting over here painting trellises, and she goes, that left side is lower than the right. I picked up the left side, and sure enough, the door worked. Well, I'll be darned. Okay, so I'll have to do something about that. I don't know what. Anyway, here's that piece of metal. I'm going to try to get it across the bottom. I don't know if it'll work, but that's what we'll try to do. I think that'll discourage digging there. I've got another plan for around here, around the sides, because we don't really want to make a skirt because it'll hang up too bad. Plus, it's kind of hard to get in there now. All right, that's kind of the way I build things. I figure shit out as I go. I don't usually have a clear plan in my head. But anyway, we got about, I probably got closer to 7 foot of height now. But that's better than having 8 foot because the wire is 4 foot. So 2 rows of wire with one overlap in the middle. Okay, so getting ready to build a little removable roof thing for the chickens. I got one C-clamp. Got another rail I want to put up there. So what do you do when you don't have a clamp? Well, let me show you. You just get you a couple of screws and screw the rail where you want it, the board or whatever. In this case, it's a rail. And when I get my cross pieces, one there, one down here, and one right about the middle. When I get those attached to these, I pull screws out and the clamp off, and that roof will be removable. This is the roof. Peace. Okay, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with this. I'm putting wire up on the chicken tractor now. Yeah. Not that sure what I'm going to do at the bottom. I may do the same thing I'm trying to do up here. But what I got is a wiggler. Use this when you're putting in rebar. Some guys may know it. Some ladies may know it. But what I'm doing here is I'm taking these pre-made ties, this wiggler. It's going to be a tight fit. But I do believe I'll get enough out of it to support that wire. I'll put them down through there, and over here I'm going to put a piece of hanger strip to hold it to the 2x4. I'll have to figure out a way to cut it. I don't have electricity out here where I'm at. I can get electricity out here, but if I don't have to, I won't. But I think what I'll do is I'll put that up against there, put hanger strip on it, because I'm going to have to cut this a little bit right here, around this 2x. But I think for the most part, the worst part about it is the weight of this 100-foot row. Yeah, so this is 45 foot approximately. So from the time I get from here to there, that row might be a little easier to handle, but I got that up there. So, yeah, here we go.
2,000 years later.
Well, behind me is the finished chicken tractor. Well, we might still put a top over it. I got a couple odds and ends to do to it, but it's ready for chickens. It's just chickens should be okay in it. So let me take you for a tour. Alright, so this is the chicken tractor at the stage of completion that we've decided to reach. We'll have birds in it here a little bit. But figured I'd take you for a tour. At some points I used hanger strap to hold it down. The door is sitting on a slope, so it doesn't want to open. I don't think I can get it to open. Maybe. Hang on. So yeah, it's sitting at a slope, but the door is just a aluminum screen door, and chicken wire is hanging on it a little bit, the hardwood cloth. But for the most part, I haven't gotten it that attached to the frame yet. We just run out of steam and energy and time and all that stuff. There's a big overlap, but we sewed the sides together, whip stitched it. We had some stainless steel wire, and we used up that. And I don't think there's anything gonna get in there. We put wire across the top to support a shade cloth, which will come. We've got a removable roof system. I'll put it right in the middle. Somewhere in the video I said I was going to put it over here. And we ended up putting it in the middle. So it's the place to put it. We got it all screened in, I think. I don't think there's anything can get in there. We wire tied it up real good. We used these reinforcement ties. They were 6-inch. We could have got away with 8-inch and had a little slack on them. But yeah, the wire didn't actually do what I wanted it to do, but it's up there. There ain't nothing gonna get in except a really small mouse or something. But no, there ain't nothing gonna get in. And we got it all tied at the top. We use stainless steel ties and a different tying system. But like I said, it's got wire across the top for shade cloth. We may decide to put wire across the top. But this is the chicken coop. Ready for chickens.